Special thanks to Anchor for distributing my podcast through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, and Castbox. With my podcast, we're going to be bringing you discussions and personal commentary on music, entertainment, celebrities, politics, love, health, and happiness. So do you want the tea? Well, simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me.
I spend time and I spend energy and I spend effort and I spend everything I have, every fiber of my being to give people quality.
Welcome back to an all-new episode of Talk with TURKBISH. Thank you guys for continuing to tune in to my channel, to my show. I'm appreciative for all the love. Thank you to the Power 109 radio family. I'm appreciative for all of the things you've done for me and continuing to keep me on the air. So I'm here today with some good juice, some good tea, some good topics, and I'm excited to get started with you guys today. And we're going to have a good show today. We're just going to have fun. We're going to release. We're not going to think about none of the bullshit that we have going on in our life. We're just going to enjoy life, enjoy the moment. And I want every one of you guys that are listening today to enjoy the moment. Release the stress. Don't release your jobs because you need those. We all need one. Trust me, I know. But we all need one, so don't do that. So keep what you got, okay? So just, you guys, if you have things that you're going through out there, don't let it get you down. You know, just keep the faith and everything will be all right. You know, you'll be good. You'll be good. Everything will be good. And you are what you make life. Put in the work. If you're passionate about something, make it happen. And that's all I'm going to say. So we're going to come back for the next segment of the show. Today will be a very short and sweet episode. So I want to just make sure that everybody out there who's listening, thank you for supporting me on Real Talk. Like, seriously, shout out to all the countries that listen to my show. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. And we're just going to keep this thing rolling. Y'all know how we do. Peace out. Hey yo, holla. Oh, we are back with an all new episode of Talk with Turk, you guys. Let me tell y'all something. The devil is busy, but I'm not going to allow him to stop what I'm doing and to stop my passion, you guys. So I had to make sure I deliver to you guys an episode before the radio show debuts on Sunday. So yes, I'm coming to you live. I'm not recording from my computer right now because the devil wants to act up and he wants to shut my computer down. But with faith and with God, all things are possible. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Do you hear me? Now let's go ahead and move into hot topics because I'm not going to allow it to get me down. I'm going to keep doing what I love. We're going to make it happen as usual. So let's go ahead and just dive in. So recently, let's talk about Mr. Travis Scott. So recently, he's coming under fire after he stopped a recent show out of concern for fans' safety. Now, this is written by Devin from Wrap Up. Shout out to the wrapup.com, where I get all of my sources and news from. The rapper was performing in Coney Island over the 4th of July holiday when he noticed a couple of concert goers climbing up a lighting truss and dangling over the crowd. After seeing the potential danger, Travis told them to get down while checking to make sure they were okay. But not everyone saw it as an act of compassion. The attorney for Astroworld's youngest victim, Ezra Blount, told TMZ that Travis' actions do not prove that he cares about safety. She has a point. He knows exactly how to keep his fans safe during the concert, but the problem with that is he just didn't learn about the fact that he has control over the entire crowd, said Alex Hillard, who is a concert goer. There are 10 people that would still be alive today, including young Ezra Blount. May he rest in peace. Travis realized his responsibility as an artist now and goes further than just trying to rile up his crowds and reemphasizes the rule of if you see something, say something. So he's still being sued many dollars, okay? Numerous lawsuits over the deadly festival, which resulted in 10 deaths and hundreds of injuries. So, y'all know how I felt about this. I did a review of him on YouTube about the whole fiasco that happened at his event. Now he's acting like he cares. It's damage control at its finest, and he recently just bought a 5.5 million Bugatti. He needs to be saving that money for these lawsuits unless he's going to get the label to pay that out. So we don't know. But Travis Scott, you're doing the first good steps, but hey, you should have been doing this at your concerts. Now your fans are turning against you because you've allowed them to do things that were not allowed and that were not legal at concerts. So now they're coming back at you. So now you're going to have to face your fans and the lawsuits of the court. So shout out to Lizzo, you guys. Now, recently she just dropped her album track list for Special. And the songs are as followed. The Sign, About Damn Time, which we love. Girls, To Be Loved, I Love You Bitch, Special, Break Up Twice, Everybody's Gay, Naked, Birthday Girl, If You Love Me, and Coldplay. It's sounding, like it's going to be a good follow-up to her 2019's Cause I Love You. Now, you can catch her performing her new album on her special tour, which features Lotto. It kicks off September 23rd and wraps November 18th in LA. So I'm excited for these songs, you guys. So we just gonna have to see, shout out to Lizzo. She's been doing her thing for the longest. I'm proud of her. She represents big girls. She lets it be known that big girls and big boys, who she recently just had on BET performance for About Damn Time. Lizzo, holla at me, girl. I want to be up there with you on stage and kill it too, because I can, okay, boo? So just let me know. So let's talk about Gunna, y'all. Y'all know that he has been in the headlines for racketeering, his RICO case. He's been denied bond again, and he has to stay in jail until 2023. Ooh. The Atlanta rapper will remain in jail until next year following allegations that he is a documented member of the alleged Young Slime Life Street gang. A Fulton County judge previously denied his motion for bond on May 23rd. According to 11 Alive, Gunna's attorneys argued that there were insufficient evidence to keep him locked up until his January 2023 trial date. But the judge ultimately agreed with his previous ruling that Gunna poses a threat to the public and could intimidate a witness if released on bond. Gunna, whose real name is Sergio Kitchens, was arrested in May and charged in 56 counts of RICO indictment that includes Young Thug and other members of the YSL. On his 29th birthday, the Pushin' P rapper reflected on his situation in a letter from jail. And it said, 2022 has been one of the best years of my life despite this difficult situation. This year I had a whole world Pushin' P. Growing up from where I come from in a marginalized neighborhood, I never dreamt my art would change my life and the lives of my loved one. My entire life I've seen black men, black women, and black children constantly attacked, hated, murdered, berated, belittled, silenced, judged, used, and held captive. I used my art form, my gift from God, to change my circumstance. I worked, I honed my craft, I worked, I empowered black women in my industry. I worked, I lived in a recording studio, I worked, I lived on the road, I worked. I worked every day to show God how grateful I am for my gift, for my art, for my life, and to be able to provide for my loved ones. For now, I don't have my freedom, but I am innocent. I am being falsely accused and will never stop fighting to clear my name. Now, you guys, this is just crazy. Now, y'all know they've been doing this for years, listening to rappers' music, trying to get them caught up, using their lyrics against them. And a lot of rappers in the industry have fought against this, like Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube. So we just got to continue to do the work as well, because it's not fair. So shout out to Gunna. We hoping that you would get freedom after a while. Young Thug was also denied bond last month for the second time, saying that he is a danger to the community and could intimidate other witnesses. So it's crazy, they really were on the up when it came to this whole rap industry, and where they were getting themselves out there as well, and Gunna doing his thing, getting features, Pushin' P with Future, features with Drake. Once you get a feature with Drake, if Drake keeps working with you, you are a good artist. I feel like, you're considered a good artist. And he's worked with Nicki. So shout out to Gunna. We're wishing the best for you and Young Thug. So speaking of Nicki Minaj, her husband was sentenced to home confinement for failing to register as a sex offender. Now, for all of the haters out there, you guys were wanting him to go to jail, and he's not going to jail. Who, God bless, no man can curse. This man just had a child that was born, and I know a lot of you guys out there who are crazy in the head, y'all gonna want to say, why he around his child if he a sex offender? That's his child, and he has every right to be around his child. There's some of y'all out there who ain't taking care of your kids, and you got people that shouldn't be around them. You're hanging out with people that shouldn't be around them. So y'all are the last people to talk. A lot of you women out there should be the last people to talk with some of the situations that you deal with. Yes, we empower black women, but every black woman, y'all be trying it sometimes. Every black woman is not for the, Me Too movement and the empower black women movement. Some of y'all just like to say that just to shame others when in reality you're not doing what you're standing for. You're not promoting in your everyday life what you are on social media coming against somebody else for. So y'all have no room to talk. Now, let me read what Devin said from Wrap Up. Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Petty, will be spending the next year under home confinement for failing to register as a sex offender in California. Federal judge sentenced the 44-year-old on Wednesday along with 1 year home detention. Petty received 3 years probation and a $55,000 fine after taking a plea deal last year and admitting that he failed to register as a sex offender after he moved to California with Minaj in July 2019, according to TMZ. Petty was convicted in 1995 for first-degree attempted rape and served almost 4 years in New York State prison for the crime. He was a registered sex offender in New York but had not registered in California. He called 15 months in prison and didn't feel that home confinement would suffice as punishment since Petty lives with Minaj in a mansion in a gated Calabasas community. Now, sorry I said he called, but prosecutors had called for Petty to get that. But after the sentencing hearing, she sent a letter to the judge on her husband's behalf. Shout out to Miss Minaj. And said, I have no doubt my son would be traumatized if his father would be taken out of his life, she wrote, according to Rolling Stone. I've known Kenneth Petty for over 20 years. When I first met him, I knew he needed guidance. I've seen his genuine evolution firsthand. Prior to being sentenced, Petty apologized for failing to register. I take full responsibility for whatever happens today, he said. I'm ashamed, embarrassed, and disrespecting my wife's brand. There are no excuses. I broke the law. I thank you for giving me the chance to speak, to apologize. After sentencing was announced, Minaj shared her love for the husband, posting photos of him and their 2-year-old son, Papa Bear, on Instagram. He still faces a lawsuit from Jennifer Hope, who he was convicted of attempting to rape in 1994. She sued the couple over alleged harassment and intimidation tactics, but Minaj was dismissed from the suit earlier this year. And little do y'all know over there, Wrap Up, that case is not going much of anywhere. So y'all can write it up the way y'all want to. Usually Wrap Up, that's how y'all do. Y'all like to try to shame her on your page, but y'all like to praise Cardi B, who don't like black people and who also calls y'all monkeys and roaches. Yeah, black people, be released from the chains of Cardi B, because she's making y'all crazy out here, and she's making y'all double down on your standards, lower your standards, your values, your beliefs, and y'all accept anything she does. Well, Nicki, on the other hand, she encourages her fans to go out there, be go-getters, get your education, do what you love, focus on your craft, and that's the way it should be as a queen, in my opinion. I don't care what y'all say, whatever y'all want to say. Now, a little bit more about Miss Minaj. Recently she had her Essence Festival, and you guys tried to read her about that. Everything under the sun. You tried to read her about her performance. You tried to read her about her weight and all of that. But she just posted a picture, and y'all were trying to read her about her outfit. Y'all were photoshopping pictures trying to make her look bad, but she looked amazing when she posted a picture with her and her son and her husband. So y'all could continue to come down on people and drag people, but Nicki Minaj will always be the queen. She will always be the standard. No matter if y'all hate her or love her, y'all continue to talk about her either way. She will always be around. She will always be in the topic of the conversation. She is the conversation. She is the queen. Did y'all just hear that hot shit that just dropped? It was literally hot shit. And y'all are going up for it. But, hey, this is the world we live in now. This is the climate of hip-hop that we have been forced to accept. But I'm not going to accept anything lackluster. I'm going to always stand for quality over quantity. And when it comes to female rap, if you're not spitting bars, if your bars aren't making me think, then I don't want to hear it. You know, if your bars aren't hitting me deep and being like, damn, like shit, didn't even think of it that way, I don't want to hear it. It's not for me. Everything is not for me. You know, everything I listen to is not for y'all. So it is what it is. We all have our own perception of life. We all have our own belief systems when it comes to, you know, music and performance and all of that stuff. But hey, I'm going to always stand for what is best in quality. So it is what it is. Now let's speak about quality and quantity. Speaking of quantity in terms of numerical, $8 million is the number. Kanye West reveals $8 million performance fee. If you want Kanye West to perform at your show, you better have $8 million, because his performance fee is $8 million, he wrote in his DM. So he told somebody to change it in their DM on Twitter. Somebody was like $1 million. It was a hip-hop Instagram account saying his fee was $1 million, and he basically told them, hey, change it to $8 million. The account also claimed to know the performance fees for other hip-hop artists, including Drake, which is $500,000, Kid Cudi, $125K, Tyler, the Creator, $150K, and Young Thug, $1.5 million. So, yeah, you know, he had to come out and say something about that. Now, let's talk about Chris Brown. Let's talk about how his album has no skips at all. Now, over the weekend, the singer took to Instagram to announce that a deluxe edition on his album Breezy will drop Friday, July 8th, while blasting the public and media for not supporting his music. July 8th, Breezy Deluxe album, he wrote in a since-deleted IG story. Not that it matters. Chris feels that he only makes headlines when it's controversy and never sings about his art. Seems like y'all only invest in the negative stories about him. He added, Chris gets in trouble, the whole world is on it. Drops an album, it's crickets. And that's true. They only want to hear the mess, and that's sad because Chris is an amazing artist, amazing songwriter, amazing vocalist, everything. And so for people to just drag him like that all the time, it's sad. Now his tour kicks off with Lil Baby July 15th in Raleigh, and it's called One of Them Ones Joint Tour. I'm excited. And even though Chris' album Breezy debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200 with 72,000 albums sold, his last album sold 108,000 units with Indigo in 2009 and hit number 1. So it is a little bit of a drop, but he still got top 5, and he almost hit the 100,000 album. But you know how Billboard does. They always change the rules. So it's no telling why the numbers look that way. So it is what it is. Shout out to Drake, who recently performed I Want It That Way with Backstreet Boys in Toronto. It was an amazing time. The crowd was excited for him, and I love it. I love to see it. So shout out to Drake. Everybody's ranting and raving about Usher's nostalgic set for NPR Tiny Desk concert. He also had Eric Bellinger singing the background vocals for him, and somebody else, Vado. And I love both of them. They're an amazing artist. They're good songwriters as well. So shout out to them, and you guys check that out in your spare time. Now, recently, R. Kelly was ordered to undergo sexual disorder treatment. He was just sentenced to 30 years in prison, and he also has 2 more cases to go. But meanwhile, all that is happening, his album sales are continuing to plummet and go up and being sold. The people still want to hear R. Kelly's music, and y'all just going to have to deal with it. It is what it is. You can't erase people's love for music out of their head and out of their hearts, because it's just not going to happen. I even catch myself listening to R. Kelly sometime, like on the radio when it comes on. I'm not going to change the song if I know it and I loved it before. What's the point of hating the song now? It's just like forcing yourself to do something that you don't want to do. And I'm sorry if some of y'all be like, well, my character, I'm not going to listen to it. That's my values, my beliefs, then that's you, okay? If a song, listening to a song from somebody who is a predator affects you that bad, honey, I don't know what to tell you, because it is what it is for me. I'm going to listen to the song if it come on. I'm going to sing to it. It is what it is. But that's all the tea I got for y'all today right now until we drop this episode on Power 109 Radio. Shout out to Power 109 Radio. I'm continuously thankful for you guys, and we are going to get some things on the ups and ups. I'm excited for everything that's going on. So shout out to everybody who's been listening. Don't forget, do you want the tea? We'll simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me. I'm back, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode on the podcast streaming sites. So you know this will be up on all the podcast streaming sites and streaming platforms that you can think of: iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Audible, Amazon Music, Apple Music, Spotify, so much more. So you know, like, you can go to my linktree.com/TurkBish, and you will find all of my links. You can go to any of my social medias to find my link tree as well, so that you can see all of my links that you could possibly listen to the podcast on. And I want to thank you guys for continuing to just be a part of my show and just be a part of everything that I have going on. And just remember, you guys, just because things look great doesn't mean they always are. In the background, you know, people have things that they go through. People have things that they deal with. And, you know, just take that into account, you know. So that's just me. I'm a human as well. I go through a lot of things. Yeah, I am going to be on radio. Yes, I'm doing well with my show. But on the back end, I couldn't be doing so great, you know. So I want people to take that into account, because it's just so much that I know personally I'm dealing with, and I don't know how to really deal with effectively. And I'm just trying to get my mental and emotional self together. And I just want to be authentic with you guys, you know. I'm just really stuck in life, and I'm really trying to figure this thing out. And I just feel like when I get one step ahead, sometimes I get pushed 2 steps back. And it's just kind of like I'm cursed sometimes. I feel like that. I feel blessed when things happen, yes, but life hits me 10 times harder after a blessing comes for some reason. And I don't know if it's just a part of me having to deal with that in my journey, my personal journey, or is that just something that I have to release or shake off or try to manage? Because if I'm going to continue to deal with trauma and deal with, you know, everyday problems or situations that I face, I'm going to have to learn how to deal with it. So, you know, therapy is good for everybody out there. Don't think that it's not. I want everybody to, you know, just make sure that you practice self-care, and just pray for me, you guys. Pray for my well-being, pray for my health, pray for my mental state, and pray for me financially. Pray for me in all of those areas, because, you know, everything that glitters isn't always gold, but I do know that I am chose. So let's just leave it there, and I thank y'all for tuning in. I love you guys. Once again, do you want the tea? We'll simply talk with TURKBISH. Just talk with me.
Stand by, we just heating up this thing.
Now playing the hottest hip hop and R&B.
Power 109 Radio.